in any case. Okay, but we'll delay that. Now, here's the deal. So here's what I want to do. I want to rough out the model, and you notice I dip these in a little thinner. I'm going to show you a trick later where you don't have to wash your brushes every night. You can use Dawn dish detergent. Rinse it, stick it in Dawn, do it like that, put it in the paint box, run, catch the train. It will never dry, never. You come back next week, do that, you're ready to rock and roll. You can keep that going all semester. You basically never let the brush dry out. Otherwise, you know, it's another step, you have to wash them, soak them in water. Now, so the dirt is still in there, but it will not solidify. A landscape guy taught me that trick because they were out in the field, they couldn't wash their brushes out there, no time, you know what I mean? Anyway, okay, now, are we ready? I'm going to do this little block thing, and then when we take a break, I'll do handouts, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Oh, like oil, here, aha, linseed oil. Don't use Damar varnish here, or we'll get chased out of the building.
Use the what?
Do not use Damar varnish.
Use the what?
Do not use Damar varnish, only linseed oil. This is just ordinary refined linseed oil.
What's terpenoid then?
That's the thinner to cut the brush. That's to clean up your hands and your.
Oh, what's the linseed oil do?
That's the vehicle to turn the paste into a flow if you need it. So you have that there or whatever. You know, I love that. But you see this? Greatest thing since sliced bread. Silica oil brush cleaner. You fill it with your terpenoid. The glop goes to the bottom. It's good for a few weeks. You put the lid on, it doesn't evaporate.
So does that come like this, or you buy that and put it in?
No, it comes that way.
The wire comes that way. I'll show you how to get it out. Not tonight, but next week. You have to reach in. You have to flip the thing upside down, pull it out, clean it. You know, anyway, we'll do that. But the point is, it keeps your brush clean, which is very hard to do. If you're using a coffee can or something, that's going to be horrible in like 3 minutes. And then it'll influence every single flesh tone. You'll never have a clean flesh tone. Okay, are we ready?
Just one thing, did you want the color? Do you want the color turned over or just the way it is?
I like the more skin of the neck, if possible. Yeah. The more of your skin or neck is better. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. That's great. Yeah. So, and you notice, see, I got my thinner. I've got my paper towels. We got to go through a lot of paper towels. Now, I usually bring backup, you know, and because, all right, now, what I basically do in order to draw the model, and I maybe take just a little black and a little ochre, just like that. Just make a little brown. There it is. Already, it's almost like burnt sienna. You see that? You don't even have to buy burnt sienna. In this case, Titian did it this way. Now, sometimes he did a ruddy background, sometimes he did it like this, and sometimes I found out he didn't do anything. I mean, you know, the canvas was gesso and all that. It had a sizing on there, but he didn't, Tony. So you can never say ever and never say always. So we have to watch that. Okay, ready? Just, okay, that's good. That's great. A little up, a little bit down, even better. Okay, so how many people have done portraits before?
Life drawing, not portraits.
You have, yeah. Somewhat. Or no, nudes. You were doing figures. Yeah, okay. You know what you're doing. She knows what she's doing. Okay, the first thing I do, I put in what I call the north arrow. In other words, is she this way? Is she that way? Is she this way? And then you're going to be like that? That's okay too. If you want to be like that, that's fine. That's a little different. That's all right. I do what boils down to the sign of the cross. You know what I'm saying? In other words, here is going to be the eyes. Here's going to be the eyes. And here's going to be the head. Now, I use very little medium. Is almost enough paint or oil in the paint itself. And the reason I don't want too much medium, I don't want it drippy, I don't want it sliding for control. This way, it's like a charcoal. Look, I can dust it as I go anywhere. I can rub it, nothing. If I want to get rid of it, I simply put a little thinner, the turpenoid with a rag, and it'll come off in an instant, no problem. I'm generally using, I love filbert brush. It reminds me of a sculpture tool. I think it's a little bit dynamite to put it that way. In fact, I brought a sculpture tool, a real one with me. Look at that, beautiful. Planes of the head. You see that? We'll talk about that more later. In any case, actually I want to put it down a little bit more. There we go. So, from the basic, the simple, to the complex. The head, everybody knows this trick about measuring?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I look at the center of her eye and I go to the top of her head. And then I go from the center of the eye down and it's almost the same. It's amazing. It's almost the same. Almost the same distance. I have to keep checking to make sure. And if I don't like it, I rub until I get it what I do like. So the eyes are approximately halfway down the head. And then the nose is actually about 2 fists. I know it sounds bizarre, but it's a little more, it's less than half, but it's a little more than a third. So the distance, yeah, I need a little left over. You see that? Leonardo called it 2 fists. Maybe in those days it made no sense. It was probably the length of a thumb or something like that. But in any case, then the mouth is from the nose 2 fists to the chin. So halfway from the top of the head to the eyes, center of eyes, center. And then from center of eye to chin, the nose is about 2 fists, and then from the nose to the chin, another 2 fists. So you can give or take a little bit. I even draw more and more, not so much an outline. I could do an outline, I sometimes do, but sometimes I just start even right away throwing in some tone as if I'm doing a charcoal drawing. And because when I see her, I see shapes. I don't see an outline specifically. I mean, there are edges to be sure, but not in outline with a hole through the middle, in a sense. So, I can wipe if I want to wipe away, or I can wipe it a little thinner. You see, it's real lean, very lean. There's an old saying in painting, fat over lean. Fat means lots of paint and oil. And the lean is more thinner. It's dry, almost like a charcoal, like a pastel, actually. What I'm really doing, I'm pretending this is a pastel.